Hey there, this is Derek Henry with XLEV8 Consulting, and in this how-to video, we're going to talk about the Paste Special Picker. Now, this is a really helpful one. I use this all the time. It gives you a lot of options to extend the native capabilities of Excel as it relates to pasting things. So let's get started and see how it works. Now, you're going to run this with the default shortcut of Control-Shift-V, most likely. And it gives you a variety of options, as most of the pickers do, within the add-in. Now, we're going to run these, go through them one at a time. So the default one here, right? Normally, you're going to want to copy something into the clipboard before you run this. That's just normal when you talk about copying and pasting. So we're going to copy something in here. Now, A is just going to copy everything. So formatting, references, formulas, number formats, just all of that stuff it's going to copy. Now, if you wanted to, say, run, let's copy this right here, this formula. Okay. V is just going to copy values. So instead of giving us a formula, it gave us the values. That is really, really common. Just don't overwrite things unless you're being careful, and you intend to, because it's easy to make that mistake. Now, if we want to copy just the formulas, okay, notice how it's copying the relative formulas. So B2 here and B and J, those are all going to shift based on the relative references. So if that's not what you wanted, the next option, B, is going to use the absolute references, even if they're not specified. You see how it's the exact same formula. Okay, so it takes out the relative references. A lot of times that's what you need, right? Now, let's say you've got some text in another application like the web or Word here, right? So we're going to copy here this, and instead of being, we want raw text. We want the formatting. We want the crazy font colors, all that stuff. We just want the raw text. Use Option T. Notice how it takes out all of the formatting and you can just keep the raw text. Let's say you want just the formatting. Okay, so maybe we want to include that. So we're going to copy this one over here and we're going to run it and we're going to say just the formats. Right, so it copies all of the formatting, nothing else. Let's say we want to copy comments. So this cell has a comment. You know, it's an awesome one. Right, we're going to copy that over here. Use Option C. It's going to copy the comments. Now, it could do it in one cell, could do it in a whole bunch of cells, right? It's just going to copy the comments, a lot like this Paste Special menu default in Excel does. Now, let's say you have a lot of values. I use this option quite a bit. So we have a whole bunch of groups here. We're going to copy those to the clipboard, and we want just unique values, okay? So we're going to run Option U. Now, if you add an A, it will then sort them ascending, or Z will sort them descending. We're just going to use U here, right? And then we're going to do it again. Use UA. Oh, forgot to copy it back into clipboard. It's one thing to note is a lot of these options, because they run other little mini functions, you might have to recopy what you were pasting. So we're going to do U, but then add the A this time. It does the same thing, but it sorts it for you all in one step. It's a pretty common thing. I do that a lot whenever I'm going to build formulas like SUMIFs and things like that. Now let's say you want to copy a bunch of things, and instead of copying the exact values or even the formulas, you want to copy links to them so that if they change here, they will also change wherever you're pasting. We're going to run this in and we're going to say Option L to paste links. Okay? Notice how these links have been added here in all the different cells back to what we copied from. Now let's say you've got a hyperlink in the clipboard and you want to add that and paste it into a cell as a hyperlink. Then with that in the clipboard, use Option H here to paste the contents as a hyperlink, like I just did right there. That's the main website link for XLEV8. Let's say you want to just paste validation. Now, I don't have any in here built, so let's add one real quick. Let's say that we have a list in the data validation. All right, so there's a list of, A, B, C. We have this little drop-down list here when we do that. Okay, so we're going to copy, and instead of getting everything, we just want to copy the validation. That's Option D here. That's all it copies. I'll paste them in. Now, let's talk about one that really solves a common pain point. So we have all of these we have all these columns here that we've gotten the widths for just how we like them. But you're going to see on this next sheet, that is not the case. So if you want to copy and paste just the widths of the columns, Option W is your friend. Paste just the column widths. That's exactly what it'll do. Depending on what you've copied into the clipboard, when you run that is what it's going to use to paste, and that is phenomenal for getting the widths just right for several different columns. One of the frustrations people often have is I'm going to double click everything, and inevitably a couple of columns are really big, like this one right here. So leveraging that instead, right, just copying the widths that you've already established, that is really helpful. Now if we wanted to copy and not paste any of the blanks, notice there's some blanks in here. We're going to use option E, paste on blanks. So what it's going to do is paste in and loop through and delete all those blanks. So just be cognizant of where you're pasting that, because it might shift things in a way that you're not really expecting. Now the next one, let's say we have this. We're going to run the copy special picker and apply the format range. So option A, that's covered in the copy special picker support page and video. Now let's say we want to then apply it here. We're going to run the paste special picker, option P. Okay, so you want to have run the copy version of that before you start pasting. You want to do that again for all these others. Do it again and press option P. Okay, so those two work really well together. In the same token, we're going to run the copy special picker again and click option E for copy, setting the copy sheets. Okay, that could be one or more sheets. Now if we want to put those somewhere else in the workbook, or it could be in another file altogether, we're going to run the paste special picker, option Z, to paste those sheets. Now if it's already got a copy, see this one, it's going to say that sheet already exists, data. So you can paste anyway, it'll add a 2 or a 3 just like it would if you were copying and pasting natively, or you can cancel. We're going to paste anyway, and it's going to add that. Notice how it has the 2 in parentheses. Or you could go to a completely new file, and as long as the workbook that has the sheet copy is open, this should work. And so we're going to go to Z to paste that sheet again. There you go. And then that new workbook or some other workbook, it will paste that same sheet. So if you're going to be doing a lot of pasting, even if you're going to do a lot of stuff in between, it's a great way to do it. Now let's say you have a lot of delimited text and you want to paste that across multiple cells. Why in the world would somebody do that? Well, if you have a whole bunch of stuff, right, first we're going to copy, let's go back to our other workbook here. Let's say we have all these items right here. We're going to copy those with a delimiter. Maybe you copied something from some website and there's a bunch of spaces between them, or you know how sometimes things copy funky from different places. Okay, so that's what's in our clipboard. Okay, it'll even tell us if we come up here and run it. So we're going to run option M here. And it's going to say, you know, here's a snippet of what's in your clipboard, just so you're aware. You're going to then say, do we want to paste it vertically, so across rows, or horizontally across the columns? And vertically is the default here. And let's also enter the delimiter. Okay, that's the next step. So maybe it's a semicolon or space or comma or something. In our case, it's the pipe character. So as you can see, it then copies it. Or if we want to run it the other way, we want to say across horizontally, we just put an H in the pipe character, and then it puts it this way. A lot of times that takes care of some of the issues you have when you paste things out, or if you want to combine them or whatever. Now that gives us a really good moment to kind of talk about the way that a lot of these work. Notice it says to transpose at a T. So if you want to paste values or formulas or everything or whatever and transpose them, so instead of if you copied several cells up and down and you want to transpose them left and right, you can do that. You would just add a T. So let's do that really quickly with one of these options. We want to take all these. We're just going to paste all, but we want to transpose, so just add a T. Or it could be VT, could be FT, whatever. It'll transpose them for you. Right? So often a need people have, so T for transpose. Now as a really basic, you know, maybe there's an option here like pasting a picture or something, you can trigger the paste special menu. Just press Q. And if you were going to do it manually, this is what you bring up, right? So there's all these different options like applying math to it. Most of these are covered in one of those pickers, right? So you can paste links or whatever else you're going to do. If it's an obscure thing like that, you can get to it quickly that way. And lastly, one of the things you might have noticed is on the Paste Special Picker, you can set custom values. Now these are really just text strings, or it could be a formula, it could be whatever you're going to enter over and over and over again. Maybe you're going to label things as PBC or prepared by client, which is something you do a lot with when you're working as an auditor or with auditors. Set whatever you want. So you would put X, right? Then you would put the formula or the value, like hello world here. And you just say default 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to put that in number 1. And what it's going to do is it's going to overwrite this saved custom here, which is blank. So that the next time we run this, all we have to do is click 1, and it will paste it in there for us. Or it could be a formula, it could be whatever, right? So hopefully you saw a lot of really cool ways to paste special here. I personally love the pasting widths, pasting values, pasting formulas, whether or not they're absolute references, pasting unique values and sorting them. That's pretty helpful. Or the formulas in the sheets like you saw. So whatever your favorite option is, you can set that as your default so you don't even have to enter it when you run it. You just press the enter key. Hopefully you enjoyed this and you save a lot of time with it. Thanks for watching and have a great day.